Hello everyone, this is Priyanka from CS Priyanka's Professional Classes. So today I'm going to explain the topic cyber law from the book Business Environment and Law for the CS Foundation. So let us start with the topic cyberspace. What do you mean by cyberspace? This is nothing but an electronic system which allows computer users around the world to communicate with each other or to access information for any purpose. That means when a person is communicating with another person through electronic mode, that is actually cyberspace. This is actually a concept which describes widespread interconnected digital technology, because now the full world is digital, right? Okay, so everyone is doing work from home. We are communicating with a person who is sitting outside the country through digital mode. So this is totally widespread, and it is actually interconnected digital technology. So it is interconnected from one to another. So much social media, so much things, digital platform are there to communicate to means communicate among each other. This is a virtual medium, obviously, and it has no boundaries, okay? No geographical mass or gravity. It represents an interconnected space which is created by computer or computer systems or computer networks. So cyberspace is totally connected with the computer. Nothing physical medium is involved. And here, through the computers or through the computer systems or software or networks, we are connecting with another. One person is connecting with another. That is actually known as cyberspace. Next is, what's the difference between cyberspace and physical world? So guys, just now I explained what is cyberspace. Cyberspace is that the network or the system which is relating to the computer. That means through computer network or the computer system, we are connecting to another person, or one person is connected to other person. But physical world is something other than computer, okay, or other than the digital world. So physical world is normally static, well defined and incremental with fixed counters. On the other hand, cyberspace is dynamic, undefined and exponential, and it is also is as vast as the human imagination and does not have a fixed shape. So this is physical means is a very complex things. Like physically, whenever we are connecting to someone else, so I have to be physically present there in person. I have to physically present in person there, then only I can communicate with other person. But on the other hand, cyberspace is totally dynamic, means it's keep on changing. Dynamic means it's keep on changing. It cannot be defined. No particular definition is there for cyberspace. Okay, and it is actually a vast as the human imagination. A human cannot imagine about the cyberspace. So because cyberspace is having it's not having any fixed shape, but physical world is the static ones. I know this mode is there where I can physically connect to other than, means physical is totally out of the world of digital. So this is what the difference between cyberspace and physical world. What do you mean by cyber law? Okay, so in I can say that in easy language, I can say cyber law means it's a legal system which is protecting these legal issues relating to the internet or cyberspace or computer system or computer networks, etc., etc. So whatever we read under the cyberspace, that is the computer related things, system, software, network, or its legal system, means the full legal issues relating to the computer or cyberspace. These all are actually regulated by cyber laws. Okay, so let's see what are the points I have included. Point number one, I have included cyber law is a part of overall legal system that deals with internet, cyberspace, and their respective legal issues. Obviously, what are internet related problems? Cyber laws actually protect those issues. consumer totally depends on cyber laws to protect them from online fraud, because though full thing is cyberspace or cyber things is fully relating to the computer and fully digital, so obviously some sort of things whatever we are doing nowadays, like we are preserving all the documents also digitally, so we are communicating with other, we are means keeping all the restrict means confidential information also in the computer. So what happens, some sort of their dependency or trust creates, or trust is there from the consumer sides on the cyber law, because we actually being a consumer, we actually depends on this legal system. We knows that this digital world is totally secure due to the cyber laws, so that the cyber law will protect, okay, the consumers from this online fraud. So whatever online fraud may happen, this can be protected by this law. Laws are made actually to prevent identity theft, credit card theft, and other financial crimes that happen online. So this will actually is going to prevent you relating to these matter, because we do nowadays, we also do all the shopping also from means online shopping. So we are ordering groceries through online, we are transferring money also online, we are purchasing or any t-shirt or etc etc whatever we want, we are on doing the online shopping also, it's online. So online means there should be some trust from our side, right? So in such cases what happen, this identity, credit card, whatever amount we are transferring, okay, that is credit card theft or this financial related crimes, full things are prevented by cyber laws. Also, some sort of copyright violation in the area of cyber law protects the right of individual and companies of profit from their own creative works. So this, due to this digital things, the cyber laws actually protect the copyright violation. What happened now, one individual created something, okay, one individual created something and other individual is simply copying the thing and just publishing in his own name. This cyber law, if you're doing it through internet, this cyber law is going to prevent that copyright violation. The cyber law will identify and recognize who will be, who is the actual owner of that copyright. So he is not going to means going to give this privileges to you to use that copyright, or to means to take this copyright from anyone else for a free of cost and to use it in your own name. So this copyright violation is also protected by cyber law. Next point, cyber law covers all transaction over internet. It keeps eye on all activities over internet. It touches every action and every reaction in cyberspace. So whatever transaction we do through internet, the cyber law simply keeps their eye in on all activities over the internet. And that's why all the transactions we feel these are protected by them, that cyber law. Next is cyber laws yields legal recognition to electronic documents and a structure to support e-filing, e-commerce transaction, and also provides a legal structure to reduce check cyber crimes. So nowadays everything became digital, you know, because we are everything we are filing also shifted to the digital world. So like we are doing the, we are filing IT return also now online, okay, verifying, verification is also happening online, and same time whatever we do being a compliance work is also done online. Now being a company or companies corporate world, they fully they are filing all the forms online with the government or register of companies. So nowadays everything became online. So this e-filing and all these e-commerce transaction are at this full legal means structure, means the cyber law actually gives a support to these e-filing and e-commerce transaction, okay, and full provides a legal structure, okay, so that it reduces cyber crimes. Now the actual act name is Information Technology Act 2000, okay, which deals or which act actually regulates, or which are which in which act means in this act only the rules and regulation to control the cyber crimes and all are mentioned. So the act name is Information Technology Act 2000. So some points I have included. The Information Technology Act 2000, or in short you can say ITA 2000 or IT Act, actually notified on October 17, 2000. So it actually enforcement date was 17th October 2000. It is actually India is the 12th nation in enactment of cyber law with the passage of Information Technology Act 2000. So India is coming under the 12th nation in enactment of such cyber law with the passage of IT Act 2000. And this act actually deals with the cyber crimes and all electronic commerce in India. Whatever the electronic transaction, e-commerce as well as cyber crime will be dealt by this act. The Information Technology Act 2000, that is IT Act 2000, provides legal recognition to the transaction done via electronic exchange of data and other electronic means of communication or electronic commerce transaction. So whatever transaction we are doing via means electronically or whatever e-commerce are involved, this IT is providing the legal recognition to the transactions. Okay, whatever is done via electronic exchange of data, like all these things. So for example, many where we actually share our account number or we share our credit card numbers, etc., etc. So these things are actually protected, and this legal means this provides, this IT Act actually provides legal recognition to this type of transaction which we do via electronic exchange of data or electronic means of communication or electronic commerce transaction, all these things. Now, what are the objectives of such act? IT Act 2000. IT Act grants legal recognition to all transactions done via electronic exchange of data or other electronic means of communication or e-commerce in place of the earlier paper-based method of the communication. So just now we have discussed in the last slide that before the full thing was paper-based, like uh, paper in the full thing was in the paper. We file the form in the paper, or whatever documents we preserve, that is also in the paper in the manual mode. But now it's full shifted to the digital world. Now everything, like nowadays we communicate this electronic, we are exchanging electronically the data or other electronic means of communication is there, or e-commerce, all these things, all this type of transactions, actually this IT Act grants the legal recognition to such transactions. Next point, this IT Act 2000 also gives legal recognition to digital signatures for the authentication of any information or matters requiring legal authentication. Uh, Nowadays, though everything is shifted to the digital, nowadays it's not possible to sign manually because we are filing the forms electronically. How it is possible for us to sign manually? So that's why this digital signature concept came. So now I'm just telling you in short what is this digital signature. So the persons whose signature is required to be affixed on the forms or on the documents, it may be the director or any other KMP or other professionals. So such person needs to obtain digital signature certificate from the certifying officer. How? There is a procedure, like then the person needs to submit all his documents along with designation details, along with a fees amount in means fees via check, and some, and also the person needs to submit the signature. Now on in exchange, the what they will do, that person is going to get DSC, digital signature certificate. Now signature will be given to him via one CD as well as in pen drive things. So there, through that thing, they can easily affix their signature on any documents. Now whenever they're going to get that signature in that pen drive as well as in CD, they're going to get the password. We call that password is private key. Private password will be given to that person, individual, and there are actually two key. One is private key, one is public key. Public key will be actually will be there with the government, and private key will be there with that applicant. Now whenever the person is going to affix his signature on the documents, that person need to insert that pen drive or CD okay, in their PC or laptop. Now they will ask, in the system they're going to ask about the private key. Now the person needs to uh, give the uh, private password, put the private password. If it matched with the public password, public key, then only automatically the signature is going to be affixed on the documents. In this way it got verified by the means through the system. Legal authentication it gets from this IT Act 2000. Next point is, IT Act 2000 also facilitate the electronic filing of documents with the government agencies as also, and also the departments. Like whatever filings we do, filing means filing forms, whatever we file the forms with the government or with the other departments like ROC or other authority. So we are doing nowadays, all are done through electronically. Nowadays, so we file IT return also electronically. So everything, so every filing also can be done easily electronically with the government also, and also with other departments. And this IT Act gives this facility and facilitate this means this process and this system. Next point, IT Act also facilitate the electronic storage of data. Okay, electronic storage means nowadays we, a lot of things we store, means electronically we store the data in our system. So IT Act also facilitates such thing. IT Act 2000 also gives legal sanction and also facilitates the electronic transfer of fund between bank and financial institution. So whenever any money is transferred from one bank to other bank or one bank to other financial institution, so it may be through NEFT or IMPS, whatever other schemes are there. So whenever any fund transferred between bank and financial institution, they are getting the legal sanction from such act actually, and this facility is there, okay, because they got the sanction from such act to transfer such fund between easily, they can easily transfer such fund from one bank to other financial institutions, or from one bank to other bank. So this legal sanction is there. And lastly, this act also grants legal recognition to bankers. Also, it gives legal recognitions to all bankers as per Evidence Act 1891, because as per this act, this banker also need to needs to submit or needs to maintain all those required documents as per rules and regulations. And also this act gives uh, permission and legal recognition given to bank and as well as RBI also, to maintain the books of accounts in electronic forms. They don't need to keep the they no need to maintain the manual register or manual books of accounts in the registered office or like that. They are having that permission from this such act, that they can easily maintain or keep the books of accounts in electronic forms, like they can store it in electronic form. So these are the objectives of the IT Act 2000. Now come to the features. What are the features of such act, IT Act 2000? First point, electronic contracts have been made legally valid if made through secure electronic communication. So nowadays contract can be done electronic mode. So that electronic contract actually, it's a legally valid, we can say it's a not a void one. So whatever contract we are entering into legal electronically, we called it e-contract, and that is valid in nature. This is one of the features of such act. Second is, already we knew that this is having a legal recognition has been granted to digital signature. So digital signatures, uh, they got the legal recognition from such act, digital signatures, digital signature certificates. So we can easily use our digital signatures while filing forms or any other documents. Third feature, uh, secure procedures for electronic records and digital signature have been laid down. So security procedure for electronic records obviously is there. So IT Act always provides security, or it gives a security. There is a full procedure how to maintain the electronic records, and this is how you will put the digital signature. All this procedure will be are secured from this act. Next feature, a procedure for appointment of adjudicating officer for holding inquiries under the act has been laid down. So adjudicating officer is there, who is going to do the inquiry if there is any contravention in the act. That means if anyone contravenes the provision or rules and regulation of the act, IT Act 2000, then this adjudicating officer is going to be appointed for holding these inquiries relating to such matter. Contravention means if anyone is is not following the rules and regulation of IT Act. Okay, in such cases, or if anyone contravenes the rules, then adjudicating officer will conduct the inquiry against that person. Next is a provision has been made for the establishment of cyber regulatory appellate tribunal under the act. This is another features of such act. There is a provision also there ki a cyber regulatory appellate tribunal needs to be established. This is a type of tribunal. It's a like a court. Tribunal and court is almost same. All tribunals are court, but all courts are not tribunal, we can say. Tribunal is a means you can say smaller than court. Tribunal only deals with a particular matter. Court deals with all matter. So this cyber regulatory appellate tribunal will deal with only the cyber laws. And here what happened, usually what happened, adjudicating officer will be appointed to do the inquiry relating to that contravention. Okay, so they will give the order. If they feel that yes, you have not followed, you have done any crime, then they are going to impose penalty on you. They are going to give you punishment. They will give you the order. Now, if you are not satisfied with such order given by the adjudicating officer, you are having option to appeal before this cyber regulatory appellate tribunal under the act. That's why this tribunal also need to be established as per provision. Next point, an appeal against the order of the controller or adjudicating officer can be made to cyber appellate tribunal and not to any civil court. So here what happened, an appeal, whatever, for example, adjudicating officer or controller who is controlling the thing, if they are telling you anything or they are giving the order to you and you are not satisfied with that order, you are aggrieved. So if you are not satisfied, then you are eligible to go to the higher authority. And who is your higher authority relating to this cyber law? That is cyber appellate tribunal. That is not a civil court. Okay, so you can go to cyber appellate tribunal with and can tell that you are not, this case has been actually done or adjudicated by the adjudicating officer and controller, and you are not satisfied with their order. Next point, whenever cyber appellate tribunal will do the inquiry against that order, and they will give you some order, another order, fresh order to you, and think again you are aggrieved, you are not satisfied with the order of cyber appellate tribunal also, then you are having option to go before high court. Okay, then you can go easily before high court and can appeal against the order whichever you received from the cyber appellate tribunal. Okay, which is your appellate authority, which is your appellate authority. Now next is, these digital signatures are to be affected by use of asymmetric crypto system and hash function. I already explained you the digital signature related things, like we are going to get two key, private key, public key. So this public key, private key concept is actually known as asymmetric crypto system. That means we are putting the private key and that is going to be matched with the public key, and then only it will work. Next feature, a provision has been made for appointment of controller of certifying authorities, in short we call CCA, to license and regulate the working of certifying authorities. So a provision has been made for the appointment of controller of certifying authorities. So provision is also there, that controller of certifying authorities also needs to be appointed, who is going to give you the license to regulate the working of certifying authorities. Okay, so that person will give you the license relating to this work, means this license, and through that license only you can regulate your work, whatever you are doing under this act, or you are using the DSC, whatever DS means, whatever certificate you are obtaining from the certifying officer, that is actually a type of license. Okay, that person is giving you license. So until and unless you get the license, you cannot work, or that is actually means your work will not going to be valid, your signature is not going to be valid. So that's why provision is already there to appoint a controller of certifying authorities who is going to give you license. Next is, the controller is to act as repository. What do you mean by repository? A storehouse, that is who will maintain an authentic and complete information of digital signature certificates. So controller, what the controller's function or duties, controller will act as a repository. Repository means controller is going to act as a storehouse who will maintain your authentic and complete information, okay, of all the digital signature certificates. So relating to all the digital signature certificates, all information will be collected in us and will be kept in a storehouse, and this full thing is going to be maintained by the controller. Next point, this act is to apply to offences or contravention committed outside India also. So it's also applicable to that type of offences also which has been committed outside India. So not only this is applicable to India, so not like that. If in outside India, if anyone sitting in other country and contravening the provisions, for that also this act will become applicable. Next, senior police officers and other officers have been given power to enter any public place and search and arrest without warrant. So this act only, this provision is there. Any contravention or any cyber crime, senior police officer or other officers is having power and right to enter into any public place, and they can easily search and arrest or seize anything without warrant also. So without a warrant they can do so. That is type, this is because cyber crime is a very serious crime, it's coming under the cognizable offense. Next is, provisions have been made for the constitution of a cyber regulation advisory committee to advise the central government and the controller. So one committee will be formed, constituted, okay, that is known as cyber regulation advisory committee. This committee is going to give advice to central government as well as on the controller relating to this cyber related issues. Applicability of such act. This act extends to whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir also follows this act relating to cyber crime. So that is IT Act 2000. Next topic, non-applicability of such act. So according to section 1 subsection 4 of Information Technology Act 2000, the act is not applicable to the following documents. So these following documents, whatever have included here, this act is not going to be applicable. First of all is, first point, negotiable instrument under Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Negotiable instrument, there are three types of negotiable instrument, that is bills of exchange, check, promissory note. In these three negotiable instruments or this negotiable instrument act, this IT Act is not going to be will not get applied. It's not applicable for this negotiable instrument things. Next is, if you are executing any power of attorney under Power of Attorney Act, here also IT Act is not applicable. In time of creation of any trust, non-charitable organization, trust under the Indian Trust Act 1882, here also it is not applicable. If you are executing any will under the Indian Succession Act 1925, there means will by whatever name called. So in testamentary disposition by whatever name called, then also this IT is not applicable on such will or the way you are preparing the will in such thing. If you are entering into a contract for the sale of conveyance of immovable property or any interest in such property, there also IT Act is not applicable because it is there. Transfer of Property Act will get applicable. And lastly, any such class of documents or transaction as may be notified by CG, central government, in the Gazette. So if any type of classes or documents is mentioned by CG, central government, in their Gazette, that here these documents, IT Act is not going to be applicable, then those will be, you have to take those documents also into consideration. Next topic is digital signature, though I have already explained about digital signature, so hope you will understand. So let's discuss. I have included some points. That is, digital signature means authentication of any electronic record by a subscriber by means of an electronic method or procedure in accordance with provision of section 3. So DSC is actually mentioned in section 3 of IT Act. So it's nothing but authentication of electronic record by a subscriber, means who is going to affix their signature. Next point is, authentication is a process used to confirm the identity of a person or to prove the integrity of information. Authentication word actually, whether it's it's your signature, you are signing, that verification will be done. So that is known as authentication. How they will do? They are going to confirm the identity of that person, and also they are going to prove the integrity of the information. Means how much the authentic the information is authentic or not. That will be also this IT Act is going to prove such integrity of such information. Next point. Any subscriber may authenticate an electronic record by affixing his digital signature. So easily they can authenticate electronic record, means the person who is having DSC, they can authenticate any type of documents or digital or electronic record by affixing their signature or affixing their digital signature. Next, the authentication of the electronic record shall be effected by the use of asymmetric crypto system, which I already discussed. Like, it means asymmetric crypto system means it means a system of a secure key pair consisting of a private key for creating a digital signature and a public key to verify the digital signature. So I already said DSC, whenever you are going to get DSC, you are going to get one password that we called it private key. And same whenever and you are going to affix your signature, always your system is going to ask you to give private key. So on that time you have to give the private key and needs to be matched with public key. Public key is only to verify your or authenticate your signature, and it is going to validate the form or validate the documents where you are affixing your signature. Next, any person by the use of public key of the subscriber can verify the electronic record. So obviously public key is only to verify. So by giving public key, I can verify whether actually you are the person or you are eligible to sign or not. It's your signature or not. Next is, the private key and the public key are unique to the subscriber and constitute a functioning key pair. So it's both actually constitute a functioning key pair because one never works without another. So you are giving private key and it is not matching with the public key, so it won't work. So it should having a functioning key pair. Next is, as per section 15, digital signature are like electronic fingerprints in the form of a coded message. The digital signature securely associates a signer with a document in recorded transaction. They are a specific signature technology implemented on electronic signature. So this is just written about the digital signature, that is, it is a form of coded message. It's like it is only securely associated with a signer who sign only, it gives security to that person, and it makes the documents also valid. It's a signature technology, and also this is known as e-signature, those we are doing the signature digitally. And lastly, certifying officer is a person who can be granted a license to issue DSC under section 24. So as per section 24, certifying officer is going to grant a license to issue and is going to issue you DSC. Next, we are going to discuss about some provisions. Some provisions are there for e-governance under IT Act 2000. What type of provisions? They are coming under section 4, 5, 6, all these sections are there. Section 4 is telling what provisions? Legal recognition of electronic record. So it's like legal recognition means, let's say that a certain law requires a matter written, typewritten or printed. Even in the case of such a law, the requirement is satisfied if the information is rendered or made available in an electronic form and also accessible for subsequent reference. So actually legal record, that how we will record your means how we will record electronically, that actually matters. It may be written or typewritten or printed, anything can be there. So this provision is there for e-governance under the IT Act 2000. Whatever is needed for what to access such things, you have to record in that way. So the requirement you have to give importance. What is the requirement? How it needs to be satisfied? Somewhere video is required, somewhere you have to be stored in a written form or a printed form or in a scanned form. So what is the actual requirement that that you needs to give more importance to that. Accordingly, this the first provision, that's why section 4 is telling first provision for e-governance is like legal recognition. You have to recognize relating to this electronic records, how you can record your documents or your things electronically. That is written in section 4. Section 5, legal recognition of DSC. So obviously you have to legally recognize the digital signatures. So digital signature, always you have to check whether it is there on that important documents to authenticate such document, or to that the documents will become valid only after the DSC is there. So a person always authenticates his DSC in a manner that central government prescribes. So he satisfied the requirement of law. So actually you have to think what you are doing, what actually your authority wants. Accordingly we have to do it. So here DSC means I have to follow what government is prescribing. Okay, so in what way you will do? So this is the purpose of understanding this. Signature means a person affixing his handwritten signature or similar mark on the documents. So whenever you are affixing DSC, this is simply equals to any handwritten signature. So this is a legal recognition of DSC as per section 5. Next is section 6. Use of electronic record and digital signature in government and its agencies. So as per section 6, the provision is there that what if you are having DSC, then you can use your DSC while filing form or application with government, or you can use that DSC while granting or issue any license or giving sanction or permitting or giving approval in any particular matter, or any other receipt or payment of money. There also you can use your DSC. Next is section 7, retention of electronic record. This means you can retain certain records or documents or information for a specified period. That is as per provision is there as per IT Act. Retain means you can keep. So I can give you one example. As per Companies Act, it is written that you can retain all the documents. You have to retain all the documents, or you have to preserve all the documents of the company at least for minimum 8 years. It is mandatory. So that's the thing. It's the requirement of central government and as well as ROC, as well as Companies Act. That's why it is needs to be maintained in that way. So obviously you have to there, as per the act, you can retain the electronic record also. Whatever you are recording electronically, that also needs to be retain. You can retain all such things and you have to preserve nicely during for a certain specific period will be there. You have to maintain and you have to retain for such specific period. That is mentioned as per section 7. Next is section 8, which says publication of rules and regulation in electronic gazette. Okay, so whatever rules and regulation is coming, that means act, any bills are written, passed in the parliament, and rules and regulation is published. So law is telling, law requires actually, if any official regulation or rule or bylaws or notification or any other matter are published by the government side, they need to publish in the official gazette. Okay, and in now normally we usually maintain this. Now whatever as per IT Act they are telling, if any official regulation, rules, bylaws, notification or any other matter published by the government side, then they should do in electronic gazette. Okay, electronic gazette, they need to publish all those rules, bylaws, act, all those notification as per IT Act. This is mentioned in section 8. Next point, section 9 is telling, section 6, 7 and 8 do not confer a right to insist documents should be accepted in electronic form. So here section 9 is telling, whatever we just now we read about 6, 7 and 8, this never do not confer any right to insist documents should be accepted in electronic form. So there only they are talking about to retain or to record or to publish. They never insist any person that person, they insist any person to submit the form electronically only, and they never also they never confer also, or they cannot insist also, they will accept the documents only through electronic means, or they will only accept electronic forms. Such provision is not there. So they can also accept the physical form too. So such provision is also not there. That is written in section 9, that there may be the provision relating to the retaining records or publishing rules and regulation electronically, but there is no provision is there to for accepting any forms electronically, or they cannot insist to take the documents or insist documents should be accepted. They cannot tell to anyone that all the documents should be accepted in electronic form. That is actually incorrect. Okay, so nothing contained in section 6, 7, 8 confers a right upon a person to insist either the acceptance, issuance, creation or also retention of any documents or a monetary transaction in the electronic form from ministry or department of the central state government, also any other authority or body established under any law by the state or central government. So from here, from these department, they cannot say that only they will accept electronic form, not the physical one. So it is depends on the department how they will give. So lastly, section 10 is telling power to make rules by central government in respect of digital signature. They're telling ki, see, central government is having also power to make the rules and regulation relating to the DSC, means digital signature matters. So IT Act 2000 is having this provision that central government can prescribe about this digital signature. So what they can decide, first of all, type of DSC, type of digital signature can be decided by CG. Also the manner, format, how you will affix the digital signature, that can also be controlled on, or the rules can be made by CG. Procedure, okay, relating which will facilitate the identification of the person affixing the DSC digital signature. Procedure also can be made by the central government, or control process or procedure to ensure the integrity, security, confidentiality of electronic payments or records. So whatever you, by affixing your DSC, whatever electronically payment or records you are maintaining, that controlful process and procedure, okay, which is going to ensure the integrity, security and confidentiality, is maintaining the confidentiality, security and all, that also can, the procedure also can be made by the CG. Further, any other matter which is legally important also relating to digital signature matter can be decided by central government. Next is data protection. Section 43A. Data protection is coming under section 43A. Data protection, from the name itself, it is clear that how to protect the data. Point number one, a body corporate which possesses, deals or handles any sensitive personal data or information in a computer resources which it owns, controls or operates is certainly negligent in implementing and maintaining reasonable security practices and procedures leading to a wrongful loss or gain to a person. This is actually in a simple language I am telling, like body corporates means a company. Okay, companies, LLP or other uh, associations or company who is actually in the form of body corporate, who is having a perpetual succession, common seal, having a separate legal entity, we call them as a body corporate. Now all the body corporates possesses actually deals or handles with some confidential personal data in their company. So if they are also once those confidential data to be secured, okay, and reasonable security practices, or they also trust on this act, or they also protect their data, uh, means protect their data means from this cyber crimes. So this data protection is a procedure or practices which is going to protect your personal data or information, whatever you keep in your computer resource. Okay, and they will actually prevent you from the, you can say, like internet or electronic fraud. Second point, in such cases body corporate liable to pay damages by way of compensation. Further, these damages cannot be exceeded 5 crore rupees. Think data protection, if such body corporate cannot protect data, or if they do any wrongful loss or gain to a person through electronically, okay, if such body corporate do any wrongful, or if they deals with this data in a fraudulent way through electronically, then in such cases, if they if it is recognized or if it is identified that they have done it, then the body corporate is liable to pay the damage by the way of compensation. They have to pay the penalty, and also they have to pay the damages. For the damages they have to pay the compensation, and the amount is fixed. It should not exceed 5 crore rupees. That is maximum 5 crore rupees they have to pay in the form of compensation for damages whatever they made through electronic mode. And these rules specifically pertain to sensitive personal information or data and are applicable to all body corporates within India. So if they means in their negligence, if they cannot maintain all the sensitive personal information or data, then these rules is this rules and this punishment, this compensation amount will get applicable to all body corporates within India. Next is scope of cyber laws. Cyber laws, obviously, this is known to you. Like cyber law is relating to e-commerce. E-commerce means whatever transaction or business we are doing electronically. Online contracts, that is e-contract, whenever we are entering into a contract electronically. Any business software patenting, whatever we are using business softwares, Tally, SAP, all these things which are having patent, own patent. E-taxation, whenever we pay taxation electronically. E-governance, whatever, whenever we are governing or governance relating to the electronic governance, or any type of cyber crimes. The cyber laws will get applicable, that is Information Technology Act 2000 will deals with these matters. This is a classification of cyber crimes. Cyber crimes is a type of computer crimes, type 1, type 2. Type 1 is telling crimes where the computer is the target of a criminal activity. And type 2 is crimes where the computer is the tool to commit a crime. So you are using a computer only to commit a crime, that is coming under type 2. And whenever crimes, the computer is the, if any computer becomes a target, okay, of a criminal activity, that is coming under type 1. So type 1 are of two types, that is unauthorized access, you can hack, or malicious code means virus, worm, all these things came, software bomb or Trojan horse. Interrupted of services, like suddenly disrupting computer services or denying computer services, theft of services, misuse of services. So all these are coming under the type 1 because it's a targeting a specific machine or the computer of criminal activity. And now type 2 is like you are using that computer to do some, to commit some crime. Under that it's coming like, see, child pornography, hate crimes, military secrets, harmful content, copyright crimes, forgery, identity theft. All these things are coming. Online fraud, cyber stalking, conspiracy, many things are coming, drugs trafficking. All you can do it because you, and for doing all these crimes you are using one computer. That is coming under type 2. So these are the classification of cyber crimes. This chart will help you. Next is regulation certifying authority. There are some certifying authority who is regulation certifying authority who is going to regulate these cyber laws related things, cyber related things. First of all, first point is controller, and other officers are appointed by central government by notification in official gazette, and such controller and other officers are going to discharge their function whatever is mentioned under this act, subject to the general control and as per the direction of central government. Next is deputy controllers and assistant controllers also will be appointed, and they are going to perform the function whatever the actual controller will instruct. Okay, under the general superintendence and control of the controller. So first of all, controller will be appointed by central government. Next is deputy controller and assistant controller is going to be appointed by controller, and also they will work as per the instruction of controller. Thirdly, if anyone contravenes the provision of the act, on that time central government or state governments, the central government will appoint any officer not below the rank of a director to the government of India, or an equivalent officer not below the rank of a director to the government of India, or an equivalent officer of state government to be an adjudicating officer. So central government is going to appoint adjudicating officer. That adjudicating officer is going to hold an inquiry in the manner prescribed by central government. Now they are going to constitute one tribunal, that is cyber appellate tribunal. If any person is aggrieved with the order of adjudicating officer and not satisfied with the order of adjudicating officer, they can appeal before cyber appellate authority, appellate tribunal. And lastly, if any person is again agreed by the decision of the order of cyber appellate tribunal, now cyber appellate tribunal will give you a fresh order whenever you are aggrieved with the order of adjudicating officer. Now again, if you are aggrieved and if you are not satisfied with the order of cyber appellate tribunal, then last option is there in front of you. You can file an appeal to High Court. That is also within 60 days from the date of communication of the decision or order of the cyber appellate tribunal. So whenever the date you are getting or you are receiving the order from the cyber appellate tribunal, from that date within 60 days you can appeal before High Court if you are not satisfied with the order whatever you receive from cyber appellate tribunal. So thank you friends. Hope you like my video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share my video.